Hey, the asshole. I bought my girlfriend a Dyson Airwrap, now she's mad. Hey, the asshole. My girlfriend and I have been dating for 3 years. We both work at the same job and socialize lots with other people at work. We started dating when we were both lower levels, but I've since jumped a few tiers at work. She's been dropping hints of an Airwrap. I earn good money, and this last week have been doing higher duties at work and got a pay rise for the week, so I thought I would splurge. Here's the dilemma. All the Dysons look the same to me and my boy eyes. So I asked one of the girls from our work which one to get. Now my girlfriend is mad because it's embarrassing having this other person know how much I'm spending. It gives the appearance that my girlfriend is only dating me for my money. Friends who have known we dated beforehand know this to be false. And I asked not my GFS best friend, who I get along with well enough but not super well, and also works at our work. She's gotten mad at me and told me all of these things, and I'm just not sure if I have crossed a line. Am I the asshole? This is the most first world problem that has ever first world. So much drama. Not the asshole. If your girlfriend is getting bent because someone knows what you bought her, I'd be reevaluating the relationship. Creating drama instead of being grateful that you took the time and effort to get the correct item is concerning to me. Your girlfriend is ungrateful and ridiculous. Not the asshole. She's making problems out of thin air. You got her the gift she wanted, and instead of being thankful, she's looking for reasons to be upset. Your girlfriend is being ridiculous. Next time ask her to send you a link. Not the asshole. It sounds like your girlfriend may have a complicated relationship with money, which would explain her reaction. But you've done nothing wrong. Am I the asshole for not correcting my friend when she called me grandma? I, 33F, took in my niece, 21F, when she was 13. My niece lived with my mom, who passed from cancer, and I was given custody until my sister, 38F, could be reevaluated. She had lost custody due to drug addiction. CPS cleared my sister for custody, but she had relapsed as a coping mechanism when we lost our mom, so my niece stayed with me. Now, I never let my niece call me mom. I was her aunt. I would provide for her. I wanted her to know I had her back, and she could tell me anything. There would be no judgment, just support. My friends would refer to her as my daughter, and I would correct them and say she's my niece, but my friends would respond, "Say what you want, but you're her mom." I would just brush them off, albeit with a bit of pride in myself. My niece had a daughter this year, and my sister is back in her life. She's been clean for 2 years and in recovery. She wants to be the grandma that our mom could never be to my niece because she had to raise her instead. I think this is great, and I am excited to finally be the cool aunt. We had a party at my house recently, and my friend asks, "How's my favorite GILF doing?" Using the acronym for mother, I'd like to F, but replacing the mother with grandma. I answered her question, the conversation moves on, and the party continues. Afterwards, my sister approaches me and asks why my friend called me a GILF, and I say they have jokingly called me a grandma ever since we found out my niece was pregnant. She made a face of disgust stating, "But you're not a grandmother. I'm baby's name's grandma. You're just her aunt." I replied, "I know that, but I was just excited to see her, I guess. It wasn't a priority to remind her." I shrugged it off, trying to imply it wasn't a big deal, but my sister did not let it go. Well, I find that rude considering I was right there. I'm the grandmother. You should have said something. My niece overheard and tried to tell her that it wasn't a big deal and that they were my friends, and they always said stuff like that. When my sister asked for her to explain, my niece told her about how they referred to my niece as my daughter. This only upset her more. She's not your daughter. She is my daughter. I made the hard decision to let her stay with you because you could give her things that I never could, but that does not make you her mother. My niece still tried to defend me, but my sister wouldn't hear any of it. She took the baby in her car seat and went outside to wait for my niece to go home as she had gotten a ride to my house from her. I gave my niece a hug goodbye and told her not to worry about it, that my sister would get over it. It's been a few weeks. She has not responded to my messages. I can't help but feel she's making a mountain out of a molehill. I don't want her to think I'm trying to take her spot. She has worked hard to get where she's at, and I'm happy for her progress. Should I have just corrected my friend like I always do? So am I the asshole? Not the asshole, but your sister sure is. You were your niece's mother in every way that mattered. If your niece had wanted to call you mom, that would be her right. If your niece wants you to be thought of as this baby's grandmother, that is also her right. Your sister needs to stop making this all about her, or she's not going to have any relationship with her daughter or grandchild. Not the asshole. You guys could probably do with some family therapy, and your sister needs her own therapist. Sounds like your sister is jealous, but also sounds like she thinks she did you a massive favor by letting you look after her daughter when she literally couldn't. There's a lot of healing to happen here, and your sister needs to learn to get over herself. Not the asshole. You're a star for stepping up and for being such a good parent figure for your niece. Some would have let her be taken into care. Well done. Your sister has a long ways to go on her journey to recovery if she can't admit that her daughter was taken away from her because of her addiction. She should be very grateful that her daughter and granddaughter have had a safe space, a secure home, a stable upbringing latterly, with you their bonus mother and grandmother. If she is in denial about that, and is angry with you, she needs to do a lot more hard work. Not the asshole. This is way more about your sister's insecurity than anything else. She effed up and missed out on a lot of her child's life. So she's wary that her place has been usurped. The only reason it really hasn't it because of your grace. You know the truth. Your niece knows the truth. Probably deep down, even you sister knows the truth. But she's feeling ashamed, but that shame became externalized and turned into anger against you. Stop reaching out. She'll reply when, and if she's ready. Great aunt also begins with AG. Not the asshole. Your sister chose herself when she made the decisions that led her to lose her daughter. She was never a mother. She is now playing grandma, but with her attitude it looks like anything she doesn't like could be used as an excuse to push her down that slippery slope. It's hard looking after a child. You have love, emotional support, financial support, and helped her navigate life. You actually mothered her. You sister didn't go from loving parent one day overnight when the girl was 13. It would have been years of stress and neglect for the child. She can't just walk in and place a label on her collar and take over and expect everyone else to walk on eggshells around her. She made those decisions and she needs to own that. She is TA. Am I the asshole for pushing back on my nutrition professor's assignments? I, 18F, am studying abroad in Paris for my freshman year of college. One of the few courses I could take to meet requirements was nutrition. For context, I was diagnosed with anorexia at 14, went through recovery, and later gained weight while on mood stabilizers for bipolar II. My parent, who is a bit of a health freak for lack of a better term, though I love them otherwise, encouraged me to go on Wegovy last year, and I lost 45 pounds. So, I've had a complicated relationship with food, weight, and healthy eating. Back to class. The professor had us calculate our BMI and share it out loud. When some students said they didn't know their weight, she replied, "Oh, you don't weigh yourself at home. You should." I spoke up and said that asking a group of 18-year-olds to share BMI is a recipe for a toxic environment, and that there are better ways to teach it. She told me I didn't have to share if I was uncomfortable. Then she assigned us to take pictures of everything we eat for a week and make a slideshow so the class could analyze it. I again raised my hand and said I found this extremely uncomfortable and harmful for people's mental health, and asked if we could do an alternative assignment. She brushed me off, saying she understood my concerns, but wasn't going to change the assignment for one person's discomfort. When I said it wasn't really optional if it affected my grade, she basically told me if I couldn't stop interrupting and criticizing her curriculum, I could leave. So I did. Now I'm wondering, am I the asshole for speaking up in class, or was I right to push back? Edit. I didn't choose to take this class. It was the only thing that fit into my schedule while still filling the requirements. Because my history, I didn't really feel comfortable taking this class, but when I explained about this, I was told that there was nothing they could do. You've had anorexia, and your parents pushed you to go on Wegovy. I can see where the anorexia probably came from. That's just a gross encouragement overall. Info. If you already have a toxic relationship with food, why take the food-based nutrition class? You wrote in your first paragraph, it was one of a few you could choose from, and it is the one you have a personal issue with. Why take it? Nutrition and nutritionists do need to talk about food and weight. Two main things they discuss. What best way to learn that through your own eating habits? You have bad nutritional habits, and maybe still do if you feel this much shame on a school assignment. Maybe even afraid. Not the asshole. You know what I find especially horrifying? A nutrition professor bringing up BMI, something made by a mathematician, is actually weird. It's widely considered inaccurate because weight is carried differently on everybody. Not to mention, Nobody should weigh themselves constantly. If she had actually paid attention when she got her degree, she'd know constant weight watching has a serious effect on mental health. You have the right to not share your private intake of food. But as the class is about nutrition, talking about your own nutrition seems very logic to me. Share your own experiences. And if this is something you want to avoid, then this is perhaps not the class for you. From that point of view, not the asshole for walking out. As a fellow anorexia survivor, not the asshole at all. People who haven't had their lives impacted by eating disorders are often blissfully oblivious. But you don't have to have had a diagnosed eating disorder to have a poor relationship with food and your body. I would bet there were other people in the class who agreed with you. I do not understand the logic of taking a class about a trigger topic and getting mad about getting triggered. Am I the asshole for my gift choices to my wife? This year after my wife lost her mother very unexpectedly, she told me that for Mother's Day this year, she would rather have a sentimental gift rather than a materialistic gift. I spent a fair amount of time from March until May researching and learning as much as I could about a recipe that her mother made her when she was a child. Her gift was 2 trays of enchiladas in which everything was handmade, aside from the vegetables and cheese. Her reaction was very indifferent, and she told me she would have rather had gotten a portrait of her and her mother, which in my opinion was considered a materialistic gift, as well as a sentimental gift. It has been a topic point for the last few months, and I stand by my decision, but feel like maybe I'm not fully understanding her view or her feelings. If you interpret not materialistic as not expensive instead of not physically permanent, you will see your wife's point. Soft, you are the asshole. You are the asshole. You think cooking dinner is a gift. She asked for a sentimental gift, not a sentimental meal she didn't have to cook herself. The fact that a dinner she doesn't have to cook on Mother's Day isn't automatic, and considered a gift tells Reddit how much effort you've failed to put towards your wife's previous Mother's Days. If you asked your wife for a sentimental gift for Father's Day, and she cooked you dinner as your gift, would you really be happy, Opie? You are the asshole. When most people ask for a sentimental gift, they mean something that will have emotional weight and meaning to them, some kind of physical memento that they will have available to them in years to come. Not a plate of food that will be consumed and forgotten. There is a difference between a material, physical item and a materialistic one. You have some massive mea culpa groveling to do to fix this one. Kinda soft, you are the asshole. What you did seems thoughtful, but are you not already cooking something for your wife or taking her out on Mother's Day anyway when you normally get her a present? Think of it this way, if her mother was doing this for your wife's birthday, she wouldn't just make the enchiladas as a gift, right? She would get an actual present as well. My judgment would be NaH if you hadn't doubled down and told her she was wrong. As it stands, you are the asshole. When people say they want a sentimental gift, they almost always mean something like a portrait and not like a meal that will be gone and forgotten about in 5 minutes. Sentimental doesn't mean temporary. I don't know where you got that idea. What makes you the asshole is you arguing with her about it after she clarified her expectations. You simply have no right to tell her she's wrong here. You don't get to decide what counts as a sentimental gift for her. Why did you take so long to learn about enchiladas? How much research is there to do? Faced with tears of joy, and if you need that much work to make a meal, well, maybe don't go with a sentimental gift in a medium that you are not good at.